Hi, Assalamualaikum. Today we're going to learn about the straight line. So before this, we have learned how to find the gradient of the straight line, right? We were given with the m, which is given by y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So now we need to find the equation of the straight line. So for your information, we have four types of straight lines. You know the equation of the straight lines can be written in four forms, right? The first one, we have the slope intercept form. So the name of the slope intercept form, meaning that we have the slope and also the intercept. All right, so this equation is usually we have y equal to mx plus c. I guess you have learned this during your secondary school, right? Right now we have the point slope form. So the point slope form will have something like y minus y naught divided by x minus x naught. This is equal to m. All right, so this is the point slope form. The next one, we have the general form for the straight line equation. Therefore this can be written as ax plus by plus with c, which is equal to 0. So always for the general form will be equal to 0. All right, and the last one, we have the double intercept form, meaning to say that we have something like x divided by a plus y divided by b. This is equal to 1. All right, so we know that a is actually the what do we call x intercept, and b is actually the y intercept. All right, when x is equal to 0. Right now, so but the most common one is actually this one. We have y equal to mx plus c. I guess you have you are used to this type of equation, right? All right, let's look at these equations of the straight lines, which is given by y equal to mx plus c. What is m? M is actually the gradient or the slope of the straight line. All right, and c is actually the y intercept. All right, so y intercept is the c. All right, so y intercept. So if we illustrate these 2 points, suppose we have 2 points on the xy plane, and we have to find the equation of the straight line. So we know that gradient is actually given by y2 minus y1. So this is the length for y2 minus y1. So we divide with this length. This is x2 minus x1. All right, so usually we'll take this as, suppose if it is this way, so this is y2 minus y1, and this one is x2 minus x1. It's something like this. All right, so we note that if it is this way, so m will be a negative value, but if it is this way, then m will be a positive value. Right, c is the one that is intercepting with the y-axis. So this is c values here. All right, so that is here c. So we should know that when we have y equal to mx plus c, right, because it will intercept with this point, so we can substitute with the point itself. All right, so later we in the next examples we'll see how to find this equation of the straight line given 2 points on the xy plane. Now another important concept is about the parallel lines. So suppose we have L1 and L2 being two parallel lines, therefore we can say that their gradient is actually equal. All right, because L1 will be y1 equal to m1 x1 plus c1, and this one L2, so we have y2 which is equal to m2 x, sorry, this one, all right, this one, m2x plus c2. So in this case the gradient should be equal because they are parallel. All right, but if we have the perpendicular lines, meaning to say that we have this equation which is m1 multiplied with m2 is equal to -1. All right, so you should remember these concepts, all these concepts, all right, because we need to use this. Right, now let's look at this example. The first one, we need to find the equation of this straight line passing through the points a and also points b. So we have 2 points here, so we know that we have y equal to mx plus c. How to find m? M should be used, all right, we find it this way. So y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So y2 is actually a -2 minus with 4 divided by 6 minus with 3. So we'll have -6 divided by 3. So we have -2. So we substitute here, we got the value for m, which is equal to a -2. So -2 x plus with c. but we haven't found the value for c. So how to find the value of c? We know that this equation of the straight line, that straight line passes through A and also passes through B. So we can substitute the value of x and y from A or from B, either one, right? You can substitute both, right? We'll get the same values for C. Suppose I choose for A. Now I want to substitute the coordinates x and y with 3 and 4. So we substitute here, right? We know that the coordinate here is 4, so this is 4. We substitute x with 3 here, so we get the value for C, right? Suppose we have 4 is equal to -2 multiply with 3 plus with C. So 4, this is -6 plus with C. Therefore our C will be 4 plus with 6. This is equal to 10, right? So C values is actually 10. We need to substitute back inside this equation. Therefore we'll have y equal to -2x plus with 10, right? 10 is the C values here. Okay, so this is our final answer. Right now, let's say we have this equation of the straight line, which is it looks like what do we call double intercept form, but it is not. All right, so because we should have a plus in the middle there. All right, so how to get it a plus there? So it will be y over -7, which is equal to 1. We need to find the x-intercept and y-intercept. Bear in mind, recall that when x-intercept meaning that y equal to 0, when y-intercept meaning that x equal to 0. Suppose I want to find the x-intercept first. So to find the x-intercept, meaning to say that the value for y should be 0. So x over 2 plus with 0 divided by -7, which is equal to 1. So we are left with x over 2, which is equal to 1. Therefore x is actually equal to 2. So we got the value for the x-intercept, which is equal to 2. But if we want to find the y-intercept, so this is y-intercept, we know that when y-intercept, the value for x is actually equal to 0. Therefore we substitute the value of x here with 0. So 0 divided by 2 plus with y divided by -7, which is equal to 1. Therefore we will have y over -7, which is equal to 1. So y is actually -7. Basically, suppose we have this form of equation, right? We want to find the x-intercept, therefore we just ignore this part. We want to get y-intercept, therefore we ignore this part, so we get y equal to -7. But if we want to have the x-intercept, then we ignore this part, therefore we have x equal to 2. That's something like that. All right, now okay, so we are done with this one. Let's go to the next example. We need to find the equation of the straight line that is parallel to the line. All right, the straight line is parallel to this, so we just need to focus on the what do we call the gradient of this line. So we just need to focus on -3 here because it is parallel to this line and passes through this. All right, so we can write the equation of the straight line, which is given by y equal to mx plus c. So now we know that this line is actually parallel to this line, therefore the value for m is actually a -3, right? Because they are parallel, so the value of m should be the same. Right now we just need to find the value for c. So how to find the value for c? Because this line actually passes through the point C, so we can substitute the x and y coordinate with 1 and -4. So when we substitute -4 here, and we can substitute 1 here, therefore we will have like -4 equal to -3 multiplied with 1 plus with c. Therefore we will have -4 equal to -3 plus with c. Therefore c is actually -4 plus with 3, which is equal to a -1. So we got the value for c, which is equal to a -1. Therefore we can finalize this equation to be y equal to -3x. Now our c is actually a -1, so -1. So we are done with the equation of the straight line. Right now, suppose we have the equation of the straight line that is parallel to this and passes through right, I'm sorry, I guess this one should be perpendicular, right? So let's just because this is actually the same question, right? All right, let's just proceed to the next one. Right, we need to find the equation of the straight line that is perpendicular. All right, so perpendicular to this is actually equation of the straight line in the general form. Right, now we just need to rewrite this equation. Right, suppose I have 3y which is equal to x plus with 15. All right, so I want to have it in the slope intercept form. Right, so I have 1 over 3. All right, 1 over 3x plus with 15 divided by 3 will be 5. Right, now we know that this is the m for this one. Okay, now we have the equation of the straight line which is given by y equal to mx plus c. Suppose this is the first line, y m1c. Right, this is m2 which is perpendicular to the L1. All right, since we know that if they are perpendicular, this is m1 and this is m2, we have the rule that m1 multiplied with m2 should be equal to -1. Therefore, we already have the m2, all right, which is 1 over 3. Okay, here, so we get it the -1. So to get the value for m1, we just need to bring that 3 to the right, so therefore we have a -3. So in this case, we have the value for m1 which is given by value for m1 here, which is given by -3. Therefore we have y equal to -3x plus with c. But how to find the value of c? Since this line passes through this point, we can substitute with the x and y coordinates for k here. All right, this is x, y. All right, now we know that we can substitute y with actually 8, and this is actually 0. Therefore we have 8 equal to -3 multiplied with 0 plus with c. Therefore our c will be equal to 8. So we got the value for c here. Now we have the equation y equal to -3x. c is actually an 8, therefore we can write plus with 8. Okay, right, now we are done with this one. Okay, now let's go to this one. All right, suppose we have this equation. We are given with 2 points a and b. We need to find the general equation. Bear in mind, if the equation asks you to find the general equation, we need to say that you have to write the equation of the straight line in the general form, that is perpendicular to AB and passes through points A. Now what we need to do is to find the we don't need to find the equation for AB, but we just need to find a gradient for AB. So how to find the gradient for AB? So we just need to use the formula y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus s1. So this is A and B. All right, so you just need to find 12 minus 3 divided by -5 minus 1. So 12 minus 3 will be 9 divided by -6. Therefore you get -3 over 2. So your gradient for the line connecting the point A and B is actually a -3 over 2. But we know that the equation of the straight line that we want to find is actually perpendicular. Alright, so suppose this is the one that we want to find, but this is the AB. Alright, so the MAB is actually a -3 over 2. Suppose this is M. Alright, this is M that we want to find. All right, so you know that when you multiply this m with MAB, it should be equal to a -1. Why? Because they are perpendicular. Now we have m which is equal, right? So MAB is actually a -3 over 2. This is actually a -1. Therefore you can get the value for m which is a +2 over 3. So now recall that equation of the straight line which is given by y equal to mx plus c. You already have the value for m here. You find the gradient already, right? All right, so which is given by 2 over 3. Okay, so y equal to 2 over 3x plus with c. How to find the value for c? Read the equation. The straight line passes through point A, so you can substitute, right? You can substitute the value for A. All right, so the coordinates of A, so you have x which is given by 1 and y given by 3. All right, so you have 3, this is 2 over 3, what do you call 1 plus with c. Therefore we have c which is given by 3 minus 2 over 3. All right, so you have 9 minus 2 will be 7 over 3. Okay, 7 over 3. right? So you already obtained the value for C. So this equation can be written as, right? Now you already have the value for C. So y equal to 2 over 3x plus with C, so plus with 7 over 3. But this is the point slope form of the straight line. We need to find the general form of the straight line. So how? We need to multiply everything with 3. So multiply everything with 3. So we'll get something like 3y, which is given by 2x plus 7. So you need to equate this equal to 0 actually. So you have 3y, you bring 2x to the left side, therefore you have minus 2x minus 7. This one will be equal to 0. So this is the general form of the straight line equation. Alright, okay, now suppose we have example 7 here. We consider two lines here, L1 and L1, okay, and this straight line, the equation of the straight line. Find the value of m if the slope of L1 is actually 5. So we just need to modify this equation. Alright, so we will write 2y, which is given by negative mx plus with 3. So y equal to negative m over 2x plus with 3 over 2. So this is the slope of this L1. So we know that the slope of L1 is actually 5. Therefore, we can actually equate this part, negative m over 2. This is actually equal to 5. Alright, so we have negative m, which is equal to 10. Therefore, m is equal to negative 10. So we are done with this one. Alright. But what if the L1 is actually perpendicular to L2? So recall, if you have L1 and L2 perpendicular, so their gradients, the product of their gradients should be a negative 1. So you just need to find the gradient of this line. So we have 3y equal to 7x minus 4. Therefore I have y equal to 7 over 3 x minus 4 over 3. Now this is m of L2, right? M of L2. This part is m of L2, and we know that L1, the gradient of L1 is this one, right? We already found here, right? Okay, so you have, and right, you just need to multiply these two. That one will be equal to a negative 1. Therefore, okay, now you have, you know that m of L1 multiply with m of L2, this one should be equal to negative 1. M of L1, which is given here, which is negative m over 2, you multiply with m of L2, which is given here, which is actually 7 over 3. This is actually equal to negative 1. Simplify this one, you get negative 7 over 6, which is equal to negative 1. Therefore m is actually a positive 6 over 7. Okay, 6 over 7. So you are done with this one. Okay. Alright, let's look at this last example here. Alright, suppose we have point A, B, C lies on the straight line given by this equation, and alright, so we should illustrate this by drawing. Alright, so suppose we have the point, okay, the gradient is 2, something like this, A, B and C. Alright, something like this. Alright, I just illustrate this, okay, geometrically. And we know that the line, this line, right, intersects the y-axis at A, meaning to say at A, so it has the y-axis, so it's something like this. So this is the y-axis, right? And then we have and B is the midpoint of A and C. So B is the midpoint between A and C. Of course, they have the same length here, AB and BC. All right. The line BD is perpendicular to AC. All right. BD is perpendicular to AC. So BD is something like this. All right. So where is D? D is actually negative 1, 6, because the coordinate for X is negative 1. So it should be somewhere around here. So D is negative 1 and 6. Okay. All right. They are perpendicular. All right. Firstly, we need to find the equation of BD. All right. The equation of the straight line BD is actually given by y equal to mx plus c, because it is a straight line. So firstly, we can find the gradient of the straight line. All right. But before that, all right, let me just write for A here. So because we know that this line is actually given by y equal to 2x plus 3. We know that 2 is the gradient and 3 is the what do we call y-intercept. So the value, the coordinates for A is actually 0, 3, because y-intercept is 3. All right, 0, 3. Okay, now you just need to find the value for m of BD, right? So this is for BD. So the gradient for m, all right, so it is actually perpendicular to A and C, all right? So okay, because they are perpendicular, all right, so suppose this is m of AC and this is m of BD, and we know that m of AC multiplied with m of BD, this is actually equal to -1. We already have the gradient for m of AC. Between A and C, the gradient is actually 2. Multiply with the m of BD, the one that we are going to find, which is -1. So m of BD will be -1 over 2. So this is the equation for BD. So we already have m, which is actually a -1 over 2, x plus C. But this line passes through points B and points D. To find the value for C, we have to substitute with the coordinates of at least one point. So can we substitute with the coordinates for B? Cannot. Why? Because we don't have the coordinates, the value for X and Y for B, but we have the coordinates for D, which is -1, 6. We can substitute with these coordinates. So now we know that what do we call Y is actually a 6 and X is actually a -1. All right, so we can have 6 -1 over 2 multiplied with -1 plus with C. Therefore we have 6. All right, this one is 1 over 2 plus with C. So solving for C, C will be 6 minus 1 over 2. So 12 minus 1 will be 11 over 2. Okay, 11 over 2. So we have the equation for this line YBD. All right, this is actually equal to a -half of X. C is actually 11 over 2. So we are done with this equation for BD. How to find the coordinates for B? All right, so to find the coordinates for B, we can find using sudah. Okay, now we need to find the coordinates for B. All right, we note that. All right, let's go to question B now. For question B, we note that B is the point which is the intersection point. Right, B is the intersection point between the line BD and also AC. So we have the equation of what do we call BD? All right, equation of BD, which is given by this -half X. Okay, let me just redraw this. All right, Y equal to -half X plus 11 over 2, and equations for AC is actually given by this one, right? Y equal to 2x plus 3. Y equal to 2x plus 3. Okay, because B is here, B is the intersection point, therefore we can actually equate these two equations. So we can equate them to get the value for X. Alright, so now we have 2x plus 3 because it intersects with -half X plus 11 over 2. So we can equate them because they intersect that. Right? So now we need to solve this value for X. So we can have 2x plus with half of X. This is actually equal to 11 over 2 minus 3. Right? So 2 plus with half of X will get 5 over 2 of X. This is actually equal to 11 over 2 minus 3 will be a 5 over 2. So of course, in this case, x is actually a 1. All right. So x, the coordinates of x, the ordinate for x is actually 1. How to find the ordinate of y? You can substitute inside this equation. You can also substitute the value for x inside that equation. Right? Why? Because b lies on this line, also lies on this line. You can substitute either one equation. Suppose I substitute the value for x, which is equal to 1 inside this equation. So y is actually equal to 2 multiplied with 1 plus 3. Right? We have the ordinate for x, which is 1. We substitute here. So we have y, which is equal to 5. Therefore, we have the coordinates for b, which is 1, 5. Right? So this is the x value and this is the y value. Right? When the question asks you to write the coordinates, meaning to say that it should be in the x, y form. What about the coordinates for c? Right? So we note that to find the coordinates for c. All right, this is for question B. Now we go to for question C. For question C, the coordinates for c. All right, we note that. All right, I just want to focus on this part. Okay. All right, we know that B is the midpoint of this line. Right? So we already have B, which is actually 1, 5. So to find the coordinates, all right, to find the coordinates for C, right, we know that B is the midpoint. So the equation of the midpoint, recall that the midpoint, all right, so we have the midpoint, which is 1, 5. This is actually y1 plus y2 divided by 2, comma, sorry, x1, all right, x1 plus x2. And this one, the coordinate for y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we have x1 plus x2 divided by, what do we call? S1 plus x2. Right, so x1 is 0, so 0 plus x divided by 2, comma, 3 plus with y divided by 2. Alright, so this is the equation of the midpoint. Okay, now by comparing, this one is actually equal to this. So we have, alright, we have 1 is equal to x over 2, therefore x is actually equal to 2. But for the next one, we compare this part. All right, I'm using another color here, 5 with 3 plus y over 2 by comparing. All right, so by comparison, we have 3 plus y divided by 2 is equal to 5, therefore 3 plus y is equal to 10, y is equal to 7. So the coordinates for C is actually given by 2, 7. So we are done. Okay. All right. So that's it for the straight lines. In the next topic, we will learn about the equations for the circle. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video.